The following video contains profanity and language that some viewers may find offensive. Viewer discretion is advised.
Truth is, I'm tired. Options are few.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, Sister Girl on Films, and we are back with Love is Blind, Season 6, Part 2, Episode 7 to 9. Y'all, let me tell you. Let me just start this video off with a rant. I just, at this point, Netflix, Love is Blind producers, do you want to keep your customers? Let me know. Like, what's the end goal? Because there is no good God-given reason why we should be into Season 6 of Love is Blind, and we are still dealing with this fuck shit of people being allowed to just say, I don't want to do this. I'm good. We cannot even get married. What? Honestly, and if y'all not new here, and if you were around when I was doing my Love is Blind season, was it Season 2? Yeah, Season 2 recap with Shayna. Then you know, number one, how I feel about Shayna and Shane crop top. Like, you know how I feel about them. Shayna, in my opinion, is to blame for all this. Okay?
Now back to that shaking the table.
Now, I know you're wondering, now how Shayna from Season 2 is to blame? Well, prior to Shayna, what other contestant on this show was able to see their fiance? Oh, wait, nope. Shayna, girl, you got a reprieve. You got a reprieve. That what's his name? Carlton and the black girl, I forget her name, from Season 1. God damn it. I totally forgot. But that case was a little bit different. So I'm still gonna put it on Shayna because Carlton and I forget her name, their situation was a little bit different because he did not disclose his sexual orientation. And she had time to think about it, but she kind of was okay with it. But then he flipped the fuck out, disrespected her, they got into it. It obviously was just not going to be a good situation for them. So I feel like their case was different. So yes, Shayna set this precedent right now. I'm glad I mentioned that because I knew somebody in the comments was like, no, she wasn't. Yes, she was. Because when Shayna first saw Kyle, number one, she wanted to be with Shane in the first place. Didn't get chose. Went with Kyle. Saw Kyle in person. All of a sudden, she was overwhelmed. She didn't feel comfortable, blah, 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 blah. And then they ended things. Yeah, Shayna is the one that set off this current timeline and precedent for Love is Blind contestants. So let's go ahead and get into these episodes. I can't. And it's not going to be structured. Y'all used to that at this point. But I feel like this is probably going to be even less structured than the last video. Because at this point, based on the preview for the wedding day, unless it was a fake out, which I hope it was, we ain't got but 2 damn couples going to the altar. 2. So what's the point of me going to ins and outs of conversations that Chelsea and Jimmy are having, or Laura and, what's his name, child? I done got mad, and Jeramey. If y'all ain't even gonna go to the damn altar, why am I even wasting my time?
Chill out, calm down.
Let's start this off, and let's get the little sweetie poos out the way. Okay, let's go ahead. Y'all ain't got nothing to do with this. Johnny and Amy. Go ahead and let's go ahead and wrap them right on up. Johnny and Amy, I said in my last recap and review, I feel like they're going to be our least problematic couple. Like, they will be fine. I feel like any issues that they have will be trumped up by production, and it'll really be a whole lot of fluff and nothing. And that's what it's been. Their biggest issue is that Amy is not on birth control. First of all, Johnny, why are you having this conversation with Laura? Unless it's you, Amy, and Laura having a conversation about Laura not taking birth control, Johnny ain't nobody business. Maybe Amy didn't want everybody and their mama knowing she wasn't on birth control. Although I think she already told the girls. Didn't matter. That ain't for you to talk to her about. Unless there was a conversation off camera where Amy was like, I'm cool with you talking to her about it. I don't care. She already knows. For the sake of my own sanity, I'm going to assume that's the case. So Johnny's concerned that Amy isn't on birth control because he doesn't want to have a oops accidental child. Amy feels like it's her body. She don't want no changes to her hormones. Like, she's a little nervous. And she's well within her right to feel that way. But Johnny feels like it could be a deal breaker for him because he doesn't want to have children so early in their marriage. My girl Amy said, we'll get a vasectomy then. I said, and period. If you don't want to put a condom on, which honestly, let's be all the way for real, the only 100% accurate way to prevent any type of oops, accident, STIs, STDs, babies, whatever, is abstinence. That's what we was taught. So whether she take birth control, whether you get a vasectomy, whether a woman get her tubes tied, whether you wear a condom, there's still a possibility of something happening. So if you don't want something to happen, don't do that something to make something happen. That's all I'm saying, Johnny. That's all I'm saying. So other than that, that is literally the only issue Johnny and Amy have. So they're gonna go to the altar. Next episodes, we're gonna see Johnny meet Amy's family, which might be a little bit of drama because her father is really traditional, not a fan of the experiment. So question of whether or not he'll be accepting of them, but we just saw a clip of them at the altar, so obviously he accepted it. I have a feeling Johnny and Amy are going to get married. If they don't, I'll be shocked, kind of like I was watching Brazil. I can't remember the couple, but there was a couple who didn't get married, and my face was on the floor. But that's all I got to say about Johnny and Amy. Not a whole lot. Figured I wouldn't. Let's move on to AD and Clay. Because again, based on the preview we saw, this was the only other couple that made it to the altar. Now, AD and Clay seems to be kind of on a little bit of a rocky start at the honeymoons. Clay is definitely giving big Virgo energy because he's being very like introspective, into his own head, kind of standoffish, a little bit withdrawn. And for him, it's just how he's trying to take everything in because he's nervous about the idea of marriage. But AD is looking at it as he's having second thoughts, or he's not sure of how he'll be able to show up in a marriage. So I can see how AD could be frustrated with how Clay has kind of switched it up a little bit, going from being in the pods, AD all day, what's up girl, AD, to being on the damn beach. I can see how that could be a little alarming. Also, I have Virgo PTSD.
Wait a damn minute. Wait a damn minute.
Okay, there's a Facebook group that says, I survived dating a Capricorn. I need to join it because I'm also in that boat. And then there also needs to be a group called I've dated a Virgo. I now have dating PTSD. Because I could do a whole video about it, okay? So I get AD's frustration. Okay, I get it, girl. So they get back to Charlotte and AD meets Clay's mom and sister. And it's going okay, you know, for the most part. But as seems to be the theme on this season, AD and Clay are very much comfortable having these very conflict-based discussions in front of their family. Lord have mercy. And so AD brings up how her and Clay aren't really spending a whole lot of time together because he's working a whole lot. He's coming home at odd hours, and she just wished they could spend more quality time together. Clay feels like, you know where I'm at. I check in with you. I got to do a lot of work. I'm going from this place to that place. AD's whole point is like, I get you got to work, but you still got a whole fiance at home. And so Clay starts to get a little defensive, and he's just like, well, I don't get what the problem is. Like, what are you trying to say? And he got kind of defensive, and his mom kind of stepped in and said, okay, calm down. I see both of y'all points of view. AD, you're not currently working right now. You have probably a little bit more free time on your hands versus Clay, who is working a lot more. And so that's an adjustment for you to make. And we have to be understanding of our partner's busy schedule. I agree, Mom. And then she said, and Clay, we gotta be all the way real. If something is important to you, you will prioritize it. And she said, I was in a marriage for a very long time. I know what I'm talking about. Even though my marriage did not work, I know how important it is to have that time together and to prioritize your partner. I said, come on, check on mama. So Clay's like, yeah, okay, yeah, you right, mom. And so I guess it kind of got worked out. We'll see in the next couple of episodes. I know a lot of people are having discussions about how they don't think Clay is into AD and how people are predicting, I don't think they're still married. I am on the opposite end of that. I do think that Clay is into AD. I just think that he's too much in his head right now with all of this. And I think he's questioning his ability to just remain faithful. We haven't talked about if he has like a pattern or history of cheating. I don't think that's come up. But just him talking about how his daddy took him on side hoe field trips. What the hell? What? Sir, I almost didn't mention that. What do you mean your daddy took you out when he was cheating? How are you going on whole field trips? What does that even entail? Like, are you sitting in Miss Jean's living room while your daddy is laying it low and spreading it wide?
Lay it low and spread it wide. You don't care who it is. What?
Are you just in the front room watching Mighty Morphin Power Rangers eating Lunchables? What is going on? Daddy, we need you on the screen. Because what was you even doing?
What's going on? Y'all are going to jail. Period.
It's his truth. And that's what he experienced, and that is what role models he has to go on. So I still got hope for Clay and AD. I personally think they're still married. I know this show was filmed, I think like a year or so ago. My personal opinion, I think they're probably still married because they work well to me. I know people don't like Clay, but I don't have no issue with the brother. Go ahead and get to this bullshit.
It's showtime.
Kenneth and Brittany. Now, my last recap, I said, on paper, Brittany and Kenneth were compatible. I was concerned maybe about physical attraction, but it seemed they were okay. The lie they told us and themselves, apparently. And so, just on the honeymoon, these two are just not vibing. Like, they're on a boat, and he's just, like, staring off into space. Just sitting there in awkward silence. And I don't know. Production, y'all dragged it. Because ain't no way that they sat on that boat for that long in silence. I just refuse to believe that. Until he saw some fucking dolphins. And he was like, ooh, dolphins! And then it picked up. I was like, really? Dolphins? Okay. We should have did that. Oh, my God. Okay. Obviously you didn't do it because production couldn't get a waiver, but whatever. So then they got to talking about physical touch and how Brittany really likes affection, and even then she had to like force Kenneth to like put his arm around her while the fucking camera had a wide shot of his crotch. Get the camera out his crotch. Why am I up in this man's widespread legs, camera? That just bothered me. Thank God he had on a second set or something. We would have seen all of his meats and treats, okay? His whole charcuterie board down there. We would have seen all of it. So I'm glad they covered it up. But Brittany was insistent that she needs affection. Like, physical touch is a big thing for her. And Kenneth is like, oh, I didn't really know that was important to you. And he was like, it's important to me too. I was like, well, it got to be something because we know it ain't words of affirmation. We know words is not your love language because you don't fucking talk, okay? So it seems like maybe when they get back home, things might be okay. But at this point, I'm like, it ain't looking too good. It ain't looking too good. And my thoughts were, once they meet the families, that's probably where everything will probably go downhill. That was my thought, okay? And I also think that seeing Clay and AD together probably put some doubt in Kenneth's mind, because I feel like it's very odd how every time Clay and AD are having a moment, here go tall Kenneth, like just looking like longingly. And I'm just like, maybe he regretted the fact that he picked a white woman. I don't know. But if that's the case, you knew she was whiting them damn pots. And if being in a black couple was so important to you, then the minute she said she was a white woman, you should have been like, well, I prefer this. Even though love is blind, we just throw that shit out the window now. Like, it don't even fucking matter. People talking about quinceañeras and shit. Like, it don't even fucking matter no more. Like, just say, I'm a black man, you a white woman, I want a black woman. And leave it at that. I'm just saying. If it was that big of a deal for you, if you wasn't gonna be for real open-minded, stay closed-minded. Cause why you play with this girl? Why you waste her time? Cause that's all you did was waste her damn time and played in her damn face. So Brittany and Kenneth, when they get back to Charlotte, already shit is just not good. He can't wait to get on his cell phone. He was like, it was great to be detached. It was great to not have electronics. Now I have my phone back. So it's like a double-edged sword. So I just cannot wait. And he had his whole face in that phone. Now I get it. He's a principal. So I'm sure him being gone for upwards of like a month maybe. I don't know how long they film in the pods. I'm sure he probably came back with a lot of missed emails and things to get caught up on. So I'm gonna give him a little grace on that piece. But speaking of grace, Kenneth was getting on my damn nerves with all this therapy talk. I don't want to hear that shit all the damn time. I don't want to holler, you got to give me grace, because I understand what you're saying and I feel that and I reflect what you're saying. But also, you have to understand that I can't be in a relationship where your fiance gonna hold you accountable? Sir. See, this is what I can't stand. When somebody is intelligent and they try to use that intelligence to play in your face. Yes, you speak very well. Yes, you know all the buzzwords. But are you missing the base foundational understanding, idea, and concept that your new fiance is now in your physical presence, wants to actually know that you are present with her, wants to know that you are serious about her, because she already knows that you're having questions, because y'all chose to be an interracial couple. You chose to be with a white woman. You knew she was white. She made that clear. Brittany didn't ask that question in the pods for no reason. Brittany had said she had issues in the past with relationships, so it's giving Brittany probably prefers to date black men and has seen how it can go left and how it can be a struggle. So Brittany trusted that you understood the severity of what being in an interracial relationship could mean, and you still chose to propose to this lady. So then to get out of the pods, see a black couple, starts to get a little bit of envy, because I think that's what was happening for him. Have this conversation with AD about Brittany and her ability to raise black babies. That's a fair question, but also they got a black daddy. Okay? Biracial children, if they're black, white, biracial, they got a black parent and a white parent. Okay? And if the white parent is struggling in the area of what it's like to raise a black child, guess what? The black parent steps the hell up. What are we even talking about? It is 2024. 2023 when y'all recorded this. Stop playing in our face. Love is blind. So Kenneth is giving Brittany no energy. Brittany is getting frustrated. They're not having any type of physical intimacy. They both had already agreed they're not going to have sex before marriage, which they both agreed upon. But they both wanted some level of intimacy. And apparently, Kenneth came home in the middle of the night and tried to get some sort of intimate things going. I don't know if it was kissing, it was hugging. Obviously, it wasn't the sexuals, because they said they wasn't doing that. And Brittany was like, get off me. And he felt rejected. Sir, if this lady is asleep, if somebody is sleeping, babe, that's annoying. You just met this lady. You don't know, y'all spent some time in the honeymoons or whatever, but her day to day, you don't know what her sleep schedule look like. Maybe have that conversation, since you're so emotionally intelligent, and figure out what that looks like. But he felt rejected. She feels frustrated because he seems to be emotionally checked out. He's always in his phone. And so instead of him getting to a space to say, okay, well, let's figure out what a middle ground looks like for us, because I am busy. I do have a lot going on. I'm not gonna lie, I miss my family. I'm trying to play catch up. What feels comfortable for you? Instead of going down that path, he decides to say, well, you know, I guess it's just not working for either one of us. And so I feel like God put me in this place for a reason, and God's going to move me in the way that he wants me to move me. And so maybe this is just not going to work for us. I can't. So Brittany, crying, is upset. I'm sure she wasn't expecting the conversation to go this way. I'm thinking she was expressing her concerns because she expected her emotionally intelligent, spiritual, intelligent, blah, 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 husband, soon-to-be husband, fiance, to actually have an adult conversation and to come up with some sort of compromise or solution, not just bow out. Not use this moment as a cop-out to leave about a relationship because you don't want to have a conversation later with people about the fact that you with a white woman. I can't. Good riddance. Goodbye, Kenneth. Brittany, I'm so sorry for you, babes. You seem like you were so sweet. It really seems like you were really into this. You really wanted to be with this man, and he got his Virgo ass to Charlotte and showed the hell out. And Brittany's a Virgo too, but I love Virgos, okay? Virgo women, if we locked in, ain't no switching up. Them are my boos, okay? So get Kenneth out of here. Brittany, I really wish you had a better experience. I really do. Because you seem like an amazing woman. And I cannot accept that Kenneth and his dry ass personality, although he wasn't giving dry ass personality in them pods, let me just be clear. He was saying all the right things. But I just refuse to believe that Kenneth was the only person you had a connection with in them pods. And if he was, girl, I'm sorry. Better luck next time. So that is Kenneth and Brittany. They are no longer engaged. They have ended things. And then after they had this conversation, poor Brittany's standing in the damn kitchen crying, and Kenneth is on his damn cell phone, texting. And then gets up, hey bro, what's up? I'm on my way over there. Yeah, I'm just gonna grab a couple. Y'all almost cussed to this moment. I almost called him some choice words. I'm not gonna do it. Brittany, thank God. You got a high spiritual connection with God. Thank him, because you dodged the bullet. Thank God I blew it. Thank God I dodged the bullet. A Virgo woman said that, Brittany. Write that down. Study it. Retain it. Heal from it. Find you a good man. Kenneth, you ain't shit. Let's move on to Laura and Jeramey, honey. Girl. So, Laura and Jeramey, we last saw them in the damn honeymoon, had a little beef because Jeramey was told to bean dip AD, and Laura said she said in a joking manner. They didn't really have a conversation. He slept on the couch. It was a whole thing. The next morning, they had a conversation. He apologized, said he was 100% wrong, I guess, because he feels they both agreed that he should not have said anything about that. Now, when they put in that perspective, yes, okay, I can see how he was wrong in that. And so they get back to Charlotte, and things seem to be okay. Jeramey ends up meeting Laura's family, and Laura's family is like really sweet. Her dad is kind of standoffish, but they're really sweet. But just like how AD and Clay did, Jeramey and Laura bring up this just awkward ass topic in front of her family that he was in love with two girls in the pods. And so, of course, obviously her family is like, ew, okay, I don't know if we want to have this conversation. This is kind of awkward. And so Laura's sister, which I love, she kept affirming Laura. She was like, but he chose you. Like, it's not even that deep. Don't worry about it. And Laura was like, yep, girl, I got the ring. And she's like, okay, so why are we even bringing this up? And so they just kind of go back and forth, and the mom is asking a lot of good questions. You know, well, how did you know that it was Jeramey? Why did you pick him? What do you love? What do you guys love about each other? And, you know, they really gave some good answers. So then it was revealed that Sarah Ann had DM'd Jeramey a little bit after the pods, and basically talking about how, you know, I'm happy that you're happy, but if you feel like you didn't make the right decision, we can have a conversation, yada, yada, yada. And so Laura saw it because she took Jeramey's phone. And she was pissed because Jeramey hearted the message versus like checking Sarah Ann. Basically, that's basically what she was pissed off about, which I don't blame her. Okay, I get it. That's a fair assumption that you would think your fiance will put a bitch in place if she's sliding his DMs talking about, well, if you feel like you didn't make the right decision, bitch, he proposed, right decision was made, get on before you get spit on. I'm just kidding. Don't spit on nobody. That's disgusting. Listen. So Laura is still kind of like low-key not feeling that and kind of underlying a little pissed off with Jeramey. But her sister is trying to reassure her like it's cool. You know, he didn't actually respond. He just liked it. He probably just should have gave it a thumbs up, but don't read too much into it. Which was good advice. At least I thought. So fast forward, we get our girl Laura sitting on the couch pissed off. Because apparently Jeramey's ass didn't come into the house till 5 o'clock in the morning. And so Laura was like, I know you're playing. I know you're lying to my face. What do you mean you're not coming in this house until 5 o'clock in the morning? And so he's like, well, we went to this bar and we did karaoke. Then we started going somewhere else. And then my friend told me Sarah Ann was going to be there. And I felt like I owed it to her to have a conversation. And Laura was like, I knew it. I knew it. I knew in my gut that that's who you was with. You was with that hoe. She didn't say that, but Laura probably would have said it. I love Laura. Listen, y'all already know that though. And so Jeramey is like, well, I gave you my location. She was like, I'm asleep. I am sleeping. So regardless of if you gave me your location, what I'm gonna do with that? I'm sleeping. And not only that, I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody where I feel like I gotta track their location. Laura, girl, that's how I feel too. I don't want to be in a relationship where I got to check your phone. I don't want to be in a relationship where I got to track your location. I don't want to be in a relationship where I have to follow you on social media and see what you're liking, who you following, what you do. I don't want that. I don't want it. I've been in a relationship like that. I have the therapy receipts to show and prove it. I don't want that in my life. I want a relationship that's built on trust where I'm cool. And if you show up and act the ass, you're just going to lose me. And that's bad for you. And I'm going to move on with my life. I'm not about to spend no time doing no damn tracking. And she don't have time for that. So I felt you on that, Laura. But then Jeramey, stupid ass, how you going to share a location and then not be where the fuck you said you were?
I do not understand.
I can't. The minute Laura said that, my bitch said, and you know what? I'm glad you gave me your location because you wasn't even in that damn parking lot. Yes, I was. No, you weren't. You were over on this side of town, which is right over where Sarah Ann's house was at. So were you at her house? Well, I don't want to answer that right now. In that moment, I really wanted Laura to jump over and knock his ass out. So we're going to get to see what happens and what plays out. They're going to have another little pool party. Sarah Ann's going to show up. Hopefully my girl Laura don't show out. I'm sure she won't. But she might. I wouldn't be mad at her. Because now Sarah Ann is trying to be cute and playing in her face. That whole scene, this whole dynamic pissed me off. Because again, we were rooting for you, Jeramey. We were all I was rooting for this connection. I liked you and Laura. Now, moving on to this last couple, honey. Jimmy and Chelsea. Chelsea is too much for me. She's too much. She's too fucking emotional. I can't do it. I can't. It's too much for me. They had a conversation about the shit that popped off, at the little barbecue luau type situation, whatever they had on the beach. And so Jimmy apologized for his behavior with AD and not making Chelsea feel supported. Y'all already know how I feel about that whole situation with AD and what part I feel Chelsea played in it. But Chelsea said she accepted his apology and going forward, she just wants her feelings to be validated. And I said, well, girl, you are asking a Scorpio man to validate your feelings. Good fucking luck. Good luck with that. So they get back to Charlotte. And things, at least with what we see, seem to be okay. Until Chelsea has like a girl's day with her friends. And we find out that Jimmy has seen Jessica's pictures. Child, quit playing with me. And not only did he see her pictures, but we find out that he friend requested her a little bit after they came back from the honeymoon. When Jessica saw it, didn't respond to it, he then removed the friend request and blocked Jessica.
Well, just as I thought, trash.
Some hoe shit, right? So now, of course, Chelsea is feeling insecure because already she got a lot of self-confidence issues to begin with. And so we come to find out that Jeramey has been really kind of standoffish. He hasn't been as affectionate, according to Chelsea. I'm going to make that very clear. According to Chelsea, this is how Jeramey has been acting up. And I'm saying it that way because even in scenes that we've seen as a viewing audience, shit that she'll say that he said, he didn't say. Or things that she said, how he said it a certain way, he ain't say it like that. So that's why I'm saying this is what Chelsea is saying has occurred. That he's being standoffish. He's not doing this. He's not doing that. And so her friends are like, ooh, okay. And so they meet him. It kind of goes well. The friends do. They kind of feel like they like Jeramey. It seems like they're cool, right? And so Jeramey and Chelsea are having dinner, or like, I don't know what the hell they was doing, child. I think they were having dinner later on. And she brings up how she's not feeling validated because he hadn't kissed her at all that day. And she noticed a change in him ever since he saw Jessica's picture. And Jeramey is like, girl, what are you talking about? I kissed you twice today. I told you I loved you today. And she was like, what? He was like, and he ran it back. I kissed you at this point in time, and I kissed you at this time. I told you I loved you. And then he even did it then. And he was just like, and she just kept harping on it. Well, I just need that because I feel like you're pulling away from me. And he's like, well, if I'm being honest right now, you're coming off as really clingy. Baby. She said, what? Clingy? And then she started running it down, honey. Oh, I'm clingy. I wasn't clingy when I cooked your ass dinner, when I washed your clothes, when I went up there to suck your raggedy. She didn't say that part. I'd imagine it was inferred though. But she said I wasn't clingy when we went upstairs. We just had sex. And he was like, well, quite frankly, you could have kept that too. Ooh.
Whoop, time to go.
Oh, when he said that, I said, this lady's head is about to explode. Chelsea was like, well, maybe I should just leave because I don't want you to feel like I'm being clingy. I don't want you to feel like I'm doing too much. And so Jeramey really didn't. He kind of shut down a little bit. She gets up, she storms out the apartment. She's like, I can't fucking believe this. I cannot. And so here's where I'm at with it. Other than him calling her the new C word, clingy, because I thought it was the other C word that was the one that set it off in his mother. Now, is he gaslighting you? Because that's the other thing. Is Jeramey gaslighting you? Is that also happening? Like, are we as an audience being gaslit? Like, did he actually not kiss her that day? And he's telling her that he did so that, he can manipulate her. Is that what's happening? Or did he actually show her affection that day, told her that he loved her, even when he came home from work, he came home to a house full of women that he had to interact with and all these things, and is she just doing the most? Because I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be 100% honest, y'all. And y'all might not like my love of honesty, and that's fine. But if you are already not necessarily an overly affectionate person, if that's not really who you are, and you have a partner who needs affection, physical touch all the time, it can be overwhelming. If you're used to your daily routine as you coming home and being able to chill out and relax, I don't remember what Jeramey does for a living, but if that is kind of like your routine and now you're getting adjusted to coming home to somebody being there, and not only somebody being there, but that somebody and their friends, that's a lot. Even when Jeramey met Chelsea's roommate, Jeramey was like, her roommate is a lot. I don't think I'll be able to, we're gonna have to live somewhere else. That's an indicator that sometimes maybe Jeramey's social battery, because he is doorstop Jeramey, with the personality of a wicker basket. So maybe that was too much for him. And so you already got Chelsea, who is high energy already herself. She got a lot going on. And then you add all of these other things. Maybe Jeramey was overwhelmed. And maybe in the moment, the word clingy was not the best choice word, but maybe she felt overbearing in that moment. And again, that could be true if it's somebody who tends to be more introverted, and somebody who tends to be more low key and not as high energy. If you're an introvert and you're watching this, you know what I mean. Like, people who are high energy, like probably right now, me and my high energy is probably driving you fucking crazy. So that's just me kind of being devil's advocate, seeing the other alternative to it. Now, again, the word clingy could have been a trigger for her. I don't know, but Chelsea is a lot. She's a lot. She would be a lot for me, okay? So Jeramey ends up packing up his shit and leaving. He said, I need to go back to my apartment. I need some space. I need some time alone. And so the next day, he comes back, and Chelsea is like, well, why did you leave? And they had a whole conversation, and I'm like, girl, didn't you threaten to leave yourself? And Jeramey brought that up. He said, well, you said you were going to leave. She was like, I know, but that was because you had just called me clingy, and I felt like, well, if you didn't want me to be around you, maybe I should just not be around you. Okay. That might be a fair assessment. They kind of left it off. Jeramey apologized for calling her clingy. He knew it was rude. He shouldn't have said that. And so seemingly things are good with Jeramey and Chelsea until we see that our girl Jessica has come back into the scene, and she meets up with Laura. They have a conversation, and she's still interested in seeing Jeramey because she feels like they had a spark. She still has love for him. And she knows that he had it too, and she knows that once he sees her and once they connect, like, that spark will be reignited. Just a whole bunch of, to me, duplicitous side hole type shit behavior, because you know this man is engaged, and regardless of him trying to be your friend on Instagram, but then not be however shit unfolded, at the end of the day, he proposed to somebody else. So at that point, you need to be done with it. And I'm so sick of these producers allowing these people to explore these other bitch, the pods are closed. The pods are closed. Choices have been made. If you don't like the choice that you made, then you take your ass to that damn altar and you say, I cannot marry you. Then you explore whoever your second choice was, because Jessica, your second choice in the situation, okay? I don't like that underhand sneaky shit. Sick of this shit. It's ridiculous, quite frankly. So apparently Jessica is still open to the possibility of her and Jeramey. She saw a picture of Jeramey and she was kind of attracted to him. She also noticed that she was the main one that said all of his exes look like her. I'm like, bitch, how do you, like, how do you know that? Like, did you just go to his social media and just like scour his pages? Like, what? That to me was kind of odd. Like, girl, you borderline obsessed. Like, because why do you know what his exes look like? And so Laura's fake ass, and the reason I'm calling Laura fake in this moment is because when girls be all together, she be all up in Chelsea face. But then Jessica's your bitch. So which one is it? Are you cool? Are you cool with both of them? And if you cool with both of them, then you need to be more neutral. Because right now it's giving fake ass bitch. Okay. Yeah, there's not a whole lot. Like, that's kind of pretty much, where that whole love triangle that I thought was over, kind of ended with Jessica declaring that she still had feelings for Jeramey. She's interested to see how things will play out once they see each other. And then we get like a preview clip of Chelsea accusing Jeramey of fucking somebody. I'm assuming it's Jessica, but maybe it could be somebody else. I don't know. Jessica doesn't give me, I'm gonna fuck Jeramey, even though I know he's engaged to Chelsea. I don't get that vibe from her. So I don't think that's who she's accusing him of sleeping with. We'll see, but I think the production tried to throw us off. I think it may be somebody else. I don't know. I just hope I'm correct in thinking that Jessica has more couth than that, especially with her wanting to be a good role model for her daughter. I'm hoping that she did not sleep with Jeramey, knowing he was engaged to Chelsea. Because if that's the case, girl, you need somebody to bop you in your nose. But that's all I got, y'all. that is literally all I have. I don't know if this was all over the place. I don't know if I covered everything. I don't care if I did. These are the things that felt important to me, because this is why it took me a while to also even record this, because I had to just sit with this, because they actually really pissed me off in this part too. I'm not in the race to upload content. I know a lot of people, like, the episode come out at 7 o'clock, they got a reaction up by 9, honey.
Yeah, I said it.
I don't care enough. I have a whole full-time job. I got other content to do on the channel. Y'all gonna get this reaction when you get it, child. Let me tell you something. I'm not in the rat race to be the first, okay? Whoever want to view my shit gonna view my shit. It don't matter when I upload it. That's how I feel about it. So if y'all was expecting it sooner, I'm sorry. Bring your expectations down. Lowered expectations. So y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What you thought about episode 7 to 9, baby. Hot mess, motherfucking express. Like, I hope I can make it through these last couple of episodes, because I just can't. The disappointment. I had high hopes for this season. I needed to lower my expectations myself. I should have known better. I should have fucking known better. But I had hope for the producers of Love is Blind, that maybe they had seen our reviews and they had heard fans and their feedback, and they were going to do better this time. Hell, they had food. They had a lot of food. So obviously the lawsuit made a difference, and claims of starving these damn people, and had an impact, because now they feed these motherfuckers. They got food every other scene. So I assumed they would have taken the rest of our feedback and applied it.
No, ma'am. No, you're very mistaken. You're very mistaken.
I was wrong. So y'all let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What did you think about these episodes? Do you think Jeramey and Laura, or Jimmy and Chelsea, are actually going to make it to the altar, and the production just kind of try to throw us off with the, the upcoming, episodes? Y'all let me know how y'all feel about this season. And as always, y'all, like this video, share this video, subscribe to my channel. And I'm going to see y'all next week, child, for part 3 and maybe the final part, I guess. I don't know, child, of season 6 of Love is Blind. Bye, y'all.